Hey everybody, Keith here, back with another video. Merry Christmas or day after Christmas. And I was watching the Ken Burns documentary, the baseball documentary on, I think it was the MLB Network, the last couple of days. And the last inning, the ninth inning, so I know he's done more since then, but the ninth inning, they were talking about different World Series that had happened. And it was interesting that I remember where I was when these different events happened. So 1979, it was Pittsburgh versus Baltimore, and I remember where I was watching that and the We Are Family. I remember the Reggie Jackson 3 home runs, and back in that time, it was actually tape delayed, and so my dad had known that uh, Jackson hit 2 home runs already, and I was like, wouldn't it be cool if he hit another one? And my dad's like, well, maybe he will. Who knows? And he does. He already had known. Uh, they talked about the Kirk Gibson home run, and I know exactly where I was when that happened. And there's a really good story behind that, maybe for another day. But long story short, I was out on a date with my sister's friend, so I could double date with her, and I missed the home run. But anyways, 1986, they did a piece on the Boston Red Sox in 1986 and what happened to them. At the time, I was working at a grocery store, and we had a video department, so they rented out VHS tapes, rented out movies. And I was a bagger at the grocery store. The game was on the TV there, and we were kind of watching it because there wasn't anyone in the store. It was nighttime, wasn't anyone watching. I was a Mets fan. Well, not really a Mets fan, but I liked the Mets. I liked Darryl Strawberry. I liked uh, Dwight Gooden was great. There was one of my first real APBA baseball memories was playing with those Mets teams, and the bullpen they had was really good. So we were watching that, and when the inning built up, 2 outs, nobody on, and the hit and another hit, and wild pitch and error, and just that we're in the store, we're working, and we're just like we're kind of yelling because it was crazy what had happened. So I thought it'd be really cool to replay that World Series and see how it plays out on the tabletop. So I'm going to use NPNG Plus to play this out. So if you guys are familiar with the game, it's a free game and lots of sets out there. I play a basic version, so I've modified the cards just a little bit, a little bit for some information that I use, but I use the basic version of the game, and it, like I said, it's free. It plays really well. Uh, we can go ahead and look at the lineup. So game one, real life game one was won by Boston, 1-0. So good game, not a lot of hitting. They scored 1 run in the seventh inning and got the win. The lineups for this game are going to be for Boston. They're going to have Boggs, Barrett, and Buckner, Rice, Evans, Gedman, Henderson, Owen, and on the mound will be Bruce Hurst. It's National League Park, so there will be no DH in this game. Just looking really quickly at this lineup, they have Boggs and Rice are really good. They have some really good cards. Those guys can hit. Uh, Dave Henderson, not so much when he came to that team, but it should be a good lineup to face. The Mets went with Wilson, Dykstra, Hernandez, Carter, Strawberry, Knight, Tuffle, Santana, and Ron Darling on the mound. So good team, good pitching, good hitting throughout. Not, I mean, Keith Hernandez was really good. Ray Knight was good. Not fantastic hitting. They're solid. That's a solid team, a really solid pitching staff. They won 108 games, so they're good. They're the team to beat in this series. We'll see how this plays out, though. So we get this going. Bruce Hurst is a 25, so he's a 25 K5 Z2. The way it works when there's a hit chance that calls for a rating, you read the 2d6, and if it's a 25, if it's above 25, it's a hit. If it's 25 or below, then he gets it out. Darling's a 33, so a little bit better. Not as much control though. So Z2, it rates anywhere from a W4, which is the worst, to a Z4. So Z2 is good. He's a blank, so Darling has nothing. He doesn't prevent or give up any more walks. I use a system to automatically pick who the relievers, pinch hitters are going to be. It's a grid that I lay out based on the appearances in different parts of the game. So ninth inning ahead by 4 or more, ninth inning in a save situation, ninth inning tied, eighth inning the same thing, and then I go behind, ahead, or tied for those different situations. So the first one that's green would be the person that comes in that situation for those different innings. I also use a fatigue system that I got from, I think, Scoreboard Baseball. It counts up hits plus runs plus walks plus innings pitched divided by games started. So for this game, Ron Darling is an 18 and Bruce Hurst is a 17. It plays out really well. That fatigue rating gets you really close to the find the right sheet here. Gets you really close to the starting stamina for that game as batters faced. So a lot of times, if they get hit harder, they'll get pulled sooner. If they are pitching well, they'll pitch later in the game. So you'll see how that plays out. The fatigue rating I have for each pitcher down here, so you'll see as they approach that number. But let's go ahead and get started. I'll put my glasses on so I can see my score sheet a little bit better. Oh, maybe I won't. We'll see how this goes. But that will be the start of it, and make sure we're there. The roller that I've created has several different dice rolls. Boggs will lead off against Darling, and we'll go ahead and get the game started. 21 is a fly ball to right, so Boggs leads off the fly to right, 1 out. Marty Barrett, 45, is a ground out, 2 down. I don't track defense, so I'll just take outs, hits, and so forth. So I don't track the defensive stats, so I don't need to get that detailed with it. Bill Buckner hitting third, 2 outs, nobody on, a 36-33. That will be a fly out. Pop up to second base. So, top of the first, no runs, no hits. We go to the bottom of the first. Mookie Wilson will lead off for the Mets, and he will go to the second column, and he homers, a leadoff homer. So, real life, the Mets don't score in the first game. In the replay, they score in the first batter. So, they get a run, they get a hit, and you'll see his fatigue rating is now 2. So, he gave a run and a hit, so he's at 2. And actually, I got to do Darling for 1 because he pitched an inning. 1-0 Mets early. Lenny Dykstra, 55-8, and that is a base hit. So his at 26 is higher than Hurst's 25. So Dykstra singles. And a bit of a rocky start here for the Red Sox and for Bruce Hurst. Oops, I don't need to do that. Sorry. There we go. Keith Hernandez, 25. That will be a double play. No, it won't. Well, wait, hold on. Sorry. Runner on first. Let me check this. 25 is a double play. Grounded to second. Rolls it to short, back to first, turns 2 outs, nobody on. Gary Carter will fly out to center. So his 21 did not beat the 25, and that'll end the first inning. 1 run on 2 hits. And the score is 1-0. Hold on, I'm going to pause this for just 1 second. Oh, I don't want both of you in here. Okay, lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Go on, lay down. Lay down, baby. Okay, hold on. Okay, that didn't work. I had to kick the dog out, making too much noise. So, top of the second, Jim Rice leading off. 1-0, nobody on, nobody out. 7, that's a base hit. So Rice leads off for a single for the Red Sox. Dwight Evans, grounded to short, and Santana will make the play to first. So on that play, it is a check. It's an error check for the shortstop, and you check the shortstop's rating against my second read. So Santana's a 21, but the 22 is higher, so he doesn't commit the error. He goes to first for the out. There's a runner on second. 1 out, Gedman up. And a 24 will be a pop-up. He pops up. 2 down. Dave Henderson, 27. There's a check on the third baseman who will make the error. Actually, yeah, he will. So safe on error, run to third. So Ray Knight boots that one. Rice goes to third, an error on Knight. First and third, 2 outs. Spike Owen. And a 10. They're going to make him pay. First and third, 10. Single over second. 1 run scores. Other out at third. Owen with a base hit. Gets the RBI. Henderson's out going to third. But they tie the game. So 1 run on 2 hits. An unearned run. Owen gets up. He gets a hit. They leave 1 on base. And that will end the inning. 1-1. Okay, bottom of the second. Strawberry up, ground second, 1 out. A lot of the numbers are similar in this game than APBA, so if you know those, then you can transition to this game or play this game pretty easily. They're pretty close. Ray Knight with a base hit. He singles. Tim Tuffle, runner on first, 27. That is Wade Boggs, who is a range 2. And it is a strikeout. So Bruce Hurst with the K5 strikes him out. 2 down. Rafael Santana, runner on first, 2 outs, and he strikes him out. And that'll end the second. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left on base, and we go to the third. Bruce Hurst can lead off. He strikes out. That's just kind of unfair for those American League pitchers in this situation trying to hit. Wade Boggs, oh, he gets a hit. That's a double. So NPNG plus, there is a read on that. If his power number was a 0, it would be a home run, but it is a double. So Boggs is now aboard with a double. Runner on second. 1 out. Barrett. 12 is a strikeout. 2 down. Bill Buckner, 45, runner on second, is a walk. So he walks him. Maybe pitching around him, but to get to Rice, probably not. Which brings up Rice. First and second, 2 outs, and he's going to walk him too. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Dwight Evans up and a chance to do some damage, but he'll fly to left. Fly ball left field. Actually, on this, it is a strikeout. So the K4 is a strikeout. Darling steps up, strikes him out, ends the inning, leaves him loaded. No runs, 1 hit. 3 left on base. So he has pitched 3, 4, 5, 6 guys have got on base or scored, plus 3 innings. They should be a 9. So we put that extra inning in there. 3 hits, 2 walks, 1 run. 9. Darling lead off, bottom of the third. Red Sox had a chance there. Darling will strike out. I used to play in a male league, male APBA. Wasn't head to head. We just sent instructions via mail. And Ron Darling was one of my pitchers. He was on my team. So was Rich Gedman, actually. A couple of players that were on my team. Mookie Wilson flies to right. 2 down. Lenny Dykstra flies to center. And that's it. 3 outs. So the leadoff home run to Wilson has been it for the Mets. Hurst has settled down since then. Give 1 other hit. We go to the 4th. Rich Gedman leading off with a fly to center. 1 out. Dave Henderson, 25, will strike out. 4th strikeout for Darling. 2 down. Spike Owen, 23. So we have the fielding distribution chart which I use. It randomizes air checks. So that is a 23. On the 23-12 is a 23. So you check against the pitcher. And a 44. Darling passes that, so it is an out. Ground ball, pitcher to first. And that ends the 4th. No runs, no hits. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Keith Hernandez to lead off with a strikeout. Hurst pitching well now. It's his 4th strikeout. Gary Carter grounds to short. 2 outs, and Darryl Strawberry will ground to short. No runs, no hits. And now we're moving along. We go to the 5th. You can hear the dog out there barking. Wants to come in the room and play. Bruce Hurst will lead off again and get a base hit. Okay. Not much of a chance for hit on that card. He finds one, and with a leadoff single, Boston's in business. Wade Boggs. So I do some automatic numbers on for intentional walks and sacrifices based on the ratings and how many at bats and the certain chances and all that. So his bunt rating, he actually did bunt. Bunt rating is an 11, so you check against this. If it's an 11 or less, he will bunt. And he will not here. He'll ground to short, and Santana throws over to first to get him out. Hurst moves to second. Runner on second, one out for Barrett. I only check the sacrifices with no outs, though, unless it's a pitcher. 26. Runner on second. He'll ground to the second baseman and move him over to third. 2 down for Buckner. 46, 24. Runner on third, and that is a ground out. And hold on. I have to say, we were out all day today, and so I'm back home now. The dogs are excited that we're home and don't really care that I'm doing a video. So there's a lot of barking in the background, but that, there he goes. Buckner grounds out with a runner on third. That ends the fifth. No runs on 1 hit. And we'll go to, hold on. We'll get this game going at some point. Okay. Dog interruptions. So we're going to the bottom of the fifth. Ray Knight will lead off. 1-1 game. Good tight game here. 61-39. They also have an unusual play chart. It randomizes unusual plays, so we'll check on that. 44-38 will be a short fly out. 1 out. Tim Tuffle walks. Okay, so they get a base runner. That is their first runner since Knight got on in the second inning. Hurst was dealing. So Tuffle walks. Runner on first, 1 out. Rafael Santana with a ground out. Moves him over, but it is a ground out. 2 down. Brings up Darling, and he will fly to left. So nothing there for the Mets. No runs. Runner left on. I will say I do this left on base, and I'm not great at it all the time. So if that number gets off, I apologize. I'm just one of those things I don't do. I always forget, especially when dogs are barking. Rice is up, top of the sixth. And he goes to the second column and a double, leadoff double for Jim Rice. He's 2 for 2. And Boston is cooking here. Evans is up, runner on second, nobody out. Strikes him out. That's a big strikeout for Darling. 1 out. Rich Gedman. Well, he will walk Gedman. His intentional walk number is a 19, so he got walked a lot. That 18 is below it, so it's going to be an intentional walk. I know different people would not play the game that way, but I take the decision out of my hand and just watch the game play. They call for a walk there, and Gedman does walk to go to first. Dave Henderson, first and second, 1 out. And a 10 is a base hit. This is going to score a run. Single 1-runner scores out of the third, then he steals second. So Dave Henderson comes through with a single and a stolen base. Boston takes the lead, and Darling is on the ropes. He's at 16, 2-1. First, second, and third now. Second and third, 1 out. We play the infield back. Owens up. And a 45. Second and third, 45. He nubs it in front of the plate. The catcher, Carter, gets it, checks it, throws to first, and gets him. 2 down, a big out in that situation. Which brings up Bruce Hurst. And he will ground out to short. So Darling gets out of it. There was a lot of trouble there. Gives up a run. 1 run on 2 hits, but survives what could have been a lot worse. And He's at 17. So 6, 7, 8, 11, 6, 17. So he's at 17. His fatigue rating is at 18. He's got one more either inning or hit or walk or run, whatever comes first, will knock him out of the game. Hurst is pitching well. He's at a 10. Let me just verify 3, 4, 5. He's at a 10. So his number looks really good. Bottom of the sixth. Wilson's up. 53. We'll check the error rating. 55. Center field. That is Dave Henderson who makes the play. 1 out. Lenny Dykstra strikes out. 2 down. Keith Hernandez, a 9 base hit. So Hernandez gets a hit. Their 4th of the game. Gary Carter flies to center. So nothing more for the Mets there. No runs, 1 hit. 1 left on base. We go to the 7th. Bruce Hurst is in command. 2-1 game. Top of the lineup for Boston. Darling is just about done. And that will end it. Base hit for Boggs. Darling will get the hook. So he goes 6+, gives up 7 hits, 3 walks, 5 Ks. And Boggs is on first. Barrett will be up, and they're going to go to the bullpen. So you can see how this works here. It is the 7th inning, and they're behind. So behind in the 6th or 7th, we scroll down, and Doug Sisk is going to be the pitcher. So he'll come in to pitch. Because I'm using basic, I don't do right-left the right-left splits. I just play straight up. Sisk will take the mound. And the way I do fatigue for relief pitchers is I take the relief stamina, which is, I think it's, for the game is average batters faced per game. Then I'll take this last roll here. And I'll compare the first number to the last number. Anything divisible by 2 is how many I'll either add or subtract. So this one's a 2 and a 6. That's the difference of 4 divided by 2. That's a difference of 2, but that one's lower, so he's going to reduce by 2. His stamina is going to be a 6. If it was the other way around, a 6 here and a 2 there, he would gain 2. If, like, for instance, if these are the numbers, the 1 and the 3, it would be a 1 difference. So it's just how I do variance on relief pitchers. So we have a runner on first, nobody out, Barrett up. Sisk is now on the mound. He will bunt and sacrifice bunt. So his bunt number's a 3, his rating's a 45. As a bunt, 5, that will be a sacrifice. So he bunts him over. Barrett does his job, moves him to second. We have a runner on second, 1 out for Bill Buckner, who they will walk. First and second, 1 out to get to Jim Rice. Interesting move. But it works. A 12 will be a double play. Sisk induces the double play, so the intentional walk works. Sisk gets out of the jam. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left on base. They've left 8. But Darling gets out of it. 2 runs, 1 earned. You go to the 7th. Strawberry's up. Bottom of the 7th. And he will strike out. 1 out. Ray Knight with another hit. So he's got 2 of the 5 hits for the Mets. Hurst at 13. His fatigue is a 17, so he's getting close. Tuffle will hit. 12, 25. Runner on first, 25 is a double play. Hurst Dealing gets out of that. No runs, 1 hit. And he's at a 14. Wow. Okay. Sisk has faced 3 batters, so he'll stay in the game. Evans will lead off. 40, 24 is a 36, and that will be a fly out. 1 out. Rich Gedman. 34 against a K2. K2, I think, is the neutral strikeout number, so he won't add or remove any strikeouts. That's like a baseline, and that will be then a 34 as a ground out. 2 down. Dave Henderson, 35, fly ball to right. So Sisk does his job, gets out of that. He pitches 2 innings. and gets them to, we'll get them to the ninth. Santana to lead off. 39, 24, 36 is a fly out, one out. And they will pinch hit for Sisk. So same thing with pinch hitters here. Line them up. The first one that's green is the one that's in. It will be Kevin Mitchell. So Mitchell will come in to hit. One out, nobody on. An 8, nope, flies out. Hits it well, but right at the center fielder. 2 down. Mookie Wilson. And a base hit. Okay, so Wilson's on. 2 outs, runner on first. For Lenny Dykstra. 35. He'll pop up. So he flies out, and that's the end of the 8th. No runs, 1 hit. So one of the things that I do in the game is to limit pitchers from going deep, deep, deep into games. So there are times I was playing Sandy Koufax, and he had some games where he was just dominant in control, like he could be. But it was that the Dodgers couldn't score, so they went into the game, and his fatigue number just would not, it wouldn't go up. So I got to the 12th inning, and he still had fatigue left, and I made some modifications to how I deal with the rule. After the 8th inning, I'll add 2, so 2 to the fatigue number. After the 9th inning, I'll add 3. After the 10th, 4, and that kind of forces the fatigue to hit a pitcher as they get late into a game. So I'll add 2 to Hurst there. I take him to a 17, so he's done. So Hurst pitches 8 innings, gives up 6 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 1 walk, 6 Ks. Very good outing. I think that pretty much almost matches what he did in real life. Take out the leadoff homer. He shut down the Mets in real life, and I think they went to Schiraldi at the end. Sisk is done. So we are behind in the 9th, and it's Randy Neiman, but he did not pitch in the series, so I'm not going to have him come in here. I'll use someone else, and that's going to be Roger McDowell. So Neiman didn't pitch. I wanted to limit his usage just because of that. And it's the World Series, so they aren't going to use him. McDowell will come in. 9th inning, nobody on, nobody out. Spike Owen will lead off. I'll leave him in there. 36, 33. He flies out. 1 out. They need a pinch hitter for Boston. They're going to turn to Don Baylor. That's a pretty cool pinch hitter. The names in these sets, when you get back in these other years in the 80s, it's just where I followed baseball a lot. It's really cool. Don Baylor will be the hitter. 1 on, nobody out, and he will ground to second. 2 down. Wade Boggs. He strikes him out. Okay, well, the bullpen did well. Boggs strikes out, and that will end the 9th for Boston. We go to the bottom of the 9th, and they'll bring in their closer, who for the World Series was Calvin Schiraldi. Schiraldi will come in, who was very good at the end of that season. He came up late, pitched 25 games, but he's a 51 rated with a K6. That's pretty good. That's actually really good. An 8, so the 6 and the 4 will add 1. He'll be a 9. The other thing I do when I bring in closers to pitch, they are not affected by their fatigue. So a closer, when they hit their fatigue number, I'll pull them out. Or not a closer, a relief pitcher. When they hit their fatigue number, I'll pull them out of the game. I can let them go longer. I'll start reducing their grades, and then the first batter that gets on after they've hit that fatigue number, they're done. For closers, I don't have them hit any fatigue while they're still in a save situation. So I think that's another. There's another game that does that. I forget which one it was. But the closer will not hit a fatigue. So if he lets batters on and he hits that fatigue number, I won't do it. If the closer's in for more than one inning save, I will basically take their number, their fatigue number that I've got, and add half to it. And then I'll play with the fatigue at that point. So like he's a 9, I would make him a 13. So if he faced 13 batters in a save situation, then I would fatigue him out. But he won't be fatigued here as long as he's in the game and the game is still in a save situation. Hernandez leads off, so middle of the lineup to face Schiraldi. The leadoff batter grounds the second. Gary Carter, 2 outs to go, and a 9, but Schiraldi stops it. He grounds out. 2 outs for Darryl Strawberry, who will ground out to end it. So Boston does what they do in real life. They come out and win game one on the road in New York. Instead of the 1-0 real life, it's 2-1. So it played out very similar. Close game, low scoring. Pitchers did very well. Bruce Hurst, 8 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 1 walk, 6 Ks. Schiraldi gets the save. The loser is Ron Darling. 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 3 walks, 5 Ks. The final line score of the game: Boston 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. The Mets 1 run, 6 hits, 1 error, and that is it. So my plan is to try to do a game a day if I can. I'll try to record these. I'm working on seeing if I can go live. Not that I'll have many people watch, but just working on that, playing with the streaming settings. But that is it. If you enjoyed this game, please tune in for the other ones that I'll play. But that is game one of the '86 World Series. Boston takes a 1-0 lead, and we will see game two, how this thing plays out. But that is it for now. So thanks a lot, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night.